Welcome, fellow Sagittarians, both seasoned seekers and curious newcomers to Zodiac Talks Tarot, where we don't just decode the stars, we laugh, learn, and maybe even cry a little under them. If this is your first visit to the channel, congratulations, you didn't just stumble in by accident. You arrived because the cosmos booked your ticket. And if you're a returning member of our Sagittarian soul tribe, you already know the drill. We explore astrology with heart, humor, and just the right touch of mystic mayhem. Now, let's talk about the massive love shift heading your way on June 21st. If you're a Sagittarius, you've probably been too busy planning your next escape to Bali or overanalyzing a situationship that ended 3 Mercury retrogrades ago to notice but this moment. It's cosmic. And it's got your name written across the stars in bold, flaming font. On this day, Mercury, the messenger of the gods, forms a rare and powerful trine to the north node of destiny. In astrological terms, this is like destiny texting you back with proper grammar and maybe even sending a love letter while it's at it. Now, I know what you're thinking, I've heard this before. I've read horoscopes that promised love was around the corner, and all I got was a weird DM from my ex. But trust me, this isn't your usual planetary fluff. This is Mercury in Cancer syncing up with the North Node in Pisces, two deeply intuitive, emotional energies forming a trine that feels less like a conversation and more like a cosmic therapy session. It's not about surface-level flings. It's about soulful unions. This is the kind of energy that invites you to stop swiping, start feeling, and actually listen to what your heart's been trying to whisper between Spotify ads. Mercury in Cancer brings a wave of vulnerability and emotional intelligence. It's the kind of placement that makes people confess things in candlelight they wouldn't dare say in daylight. Meanwhile, the North Node in Pisces invites surrender, intuition, and spiritual guidance. Together, they're less of a matchmaker and more of a spiritual GPS redirecting you from emotional dead ends to sacred connection highways. And you, Sagittarius, the eternal student of life, are being asked to swap your map for faith, your overthinking for openness. But wait, it gets better. This rare alignment doesn't just happen on any day. It lands right on the summer solstice, the longest, brightest day of the year. That's right, the universe basically threw a spotlight on this energy and shouted, "Pay attention." The solstice supercharges the love portal, infusing it with radiant solar energy that helps your intentions actually stick, unlike that New Year's resolution to text people back within 24 hours. Add the moon in Taurus to this scene, and you've got grounding energy to balance the feels. This isn't just daydreamy romance. It's about bringing love down to earth into your actual life, into your actual schedule, and yes, even into that sacred do not disturb space you've been guarding since your last breakup. If you've been having dreams about someone lately, maybe vague, maybe oddly vivid, it's not just your subconscious replaying Netflix dramas. It's the universe sliding a note under your psychic door. So what does this mean for you, Sagittarius? It means destiny is not just knocking, it's kicking the door open with flowers in one hand and your next big love story in the other. But don't worry, this isn't about settling down in the traditional, boring sense. Divine partnership for a Sagittarius doesn't mean giving up freedom, it means finding someone who runs beside you, not behind you. Someone who gets that your version of intimacy might include long philosophical debates and spontaneous trips to Iceland. And if you're feeling a little skeptical, a little too jaded to believe in divine timing or cosmic winks, let me offer this: what if all the detours, delays, and almosts weren't mistakes but breadcrumb trails designed to lead you right here, to this portal, to this shift? Because as any true Sagittarius knows, the journey is never just about the destination, it's about the transformation. And this June 21st, the stars are offering you both. So welcome, again, to Zodiac Talks Tarot. Let's ride this wave together, wisecracks, stardust, awkward DMS and all. Because your love story? It's just getting started. Let's talk about dreams, Sagittarius, not the kind where you finally graduate college riding a giant Pegasus, but the ones that creep in quietly at 3:47 a.m., leave you breathless, and disappear before your first sip of coffee. If you've been feeling like your dreams lately are less random and more cinematic, that's no accident. That's cosmic editing. As someone who's spent decades studying both the stars above and the subconscious terrain below, I can confidently tell you, your dreams are spiritual trailers. Not fantasy. Not junk data. These are sneak peeks from the universe, crafted just for you. Think of them like sacred previews of coming attractions, only instead of explosions and car chases, you're getting symbols like oceans, hello, deep emotional waters, bridges, soul connection, anyone, and yes, even arrows. You know, your Sagittarius signature move. When your own symbol starts appearing in your dreams, that's not a glitch. That's the universe winking at you like, you ready yet, chosen one? And Sag, let's be honest, you rebuilt for signs. You see meaning in bumper stickers, song lyrics, oddly timed billboards, and birds flying in V formations. So when your dreams start ramping up with synchronicities, don't brush it off as your imagination. Don't scroll past it like another meme. Write it down. Yes, even if it's weird. Even if it involves your 5th grade crush showing up in a pirate costume to tell you the Wi-Fi password to your soulmate's heart. Because guess what? The subconscious is weird, and that's where the truth hides. Now, while you're processing these dream breadcrumbs, let's shift to the real world where something even more magical is happening. Thanks to Mercury swimming deep in Cancerian waters, your usual Sagittarian style blunt, bold, brutally honest is getting a soft focus upgrade. Suddenly, your words don't just land, they linger. They move people. They magnetize. Here's the twist, and it's a good one. Your emotional magnetism is peaking right now. You're not just speaking your truth, you're speaking it in a way that touches hearts instead of bowling them over. Mercury in Cancer is emotional, intuitive, and reflective. It invites you to pause, to feel, and to say the things you normally joke your way out of. And that, dear Archer, is where your power lies. See, vulnerability isn't your typical go-to strategy. You'd rather crack a joke, tell a story from your backpacking trip in Peru, and change the subject. But during this cosmic window, authenticity is the adventure. The universe is less impressed by how fast you can move on, and more moved by how deeply you can stay. So let it happen. Let yourself be seen. Say the thing that scares you a little. That truth? That feeling? That moment you almost shared but didn't? That's the portal to divine connection. It's no longer about performing bravery, it's about embodying truth. And speaking of portals, can we talk about synchronicity for a second? If you're seeing repeating numbers like 1111, or hearing that one song they love just before they text, or randomly meeting a Pisces at the coffee shop who seems to know you, congrats. You've officially entered the breadcrumb trail phase of your spiritual love quest. Synchronicities are like cosmic post-it notes stuck to your life. Yes, you're on the right track. No, that wasn't random. Yes, the universe has Wi-Fi and it's sending you signs. And while we're here, don't ignore the water signs. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, these mystical creatures may be showing up more than usual. Some will bring guidance. Some might bring temptation. And hey, one of them might have a cute sibling who turns out to be the key to your next romantic chapter. Stranger things have happened. Astrology lives for plot twists. Now, I know it can feel a little wild. You're walking through life thinking you're just running errands, and suddenly the universe is staging a flash mob of meaningful encounters. But this isn't chaos, it's spiritual choreography. You're not stumbling. You're being led. Or better yet, you're being danced down the path of your destiny. And Sagittarius, what's more Sag than dancing freely down the road, guided by intuition, curiosity, and a dash of divine humor? So take a breath. Pay attention to your dreams. Trust your feelings. And follow those signs. Because you, my dear Sag, aren't just looking for love. You're being prepared for something sacred. And the universe? Well, it's already queued up your theme song. Alright, Sagittarius, pull up a chair, light some incense, or, more likely, grab that second iced coffee, because we need to talk about something you've probably been feeling, even if you haven't quite named it yet. You're evolving. And no, not in a boring, now you pay your bills on time way. I mean deep, soul-level transformation. The kind that peels off old patterns like an old passport sticker, still sentimental, but no longer where you're going. Let's start with a little honesty, shall we? You've carried around the title of the emotionally unavailable philosopher long enough. And yet, it was cute for a while. The whole mysterious, free-spirited I just need space to find myself in Costa Rica thing? Iconic. But let's face it, since 2020, the universe has put you through a spiritual boot camp. You've felt the ache of solitude, the sting of ghosting, both giving and receiving, if we were being honest, and the kind of restlessness that no airplane ticket could solve. Now, here's the twist, you're finally ready to release those outdated behaviors. The compulsive chasing, the sudden disappearing acts, the endless inner monologues about whether or not they're the one, they're falling away like arrows from a well-worn bow. Not because you've given up on love, but because you've outgrown the chase. You've come home to yourself. And surprise, real love? It doesn't demand that you vanish to Machu Picchu for clarity. It shows up in the here and now. It meets you in your mismatched socks on a Tuesday afternoon. It holds space for your fire without trying to tame it. And best of all, it lets you keep your passport. Because any love that can't handle a sag on the move isn't divine, it's a detour. Now, let's get into something even more mystical than your frequent flyer status, your body. That's right. The meat suit. The temple. The wandering vessel that's held you through all your existential crises and late-night snack decisions. It's speaking to you, and louder than ever. That flutter in your chest when they walk into the room? That electric tingle when your eyes meet across Trader Joe's? That's not anxiety. That's your inner compass saying yes. And let's be real, your logic will try to step in. It'll say, but do they like dogs? What's their moon sign? Have they read any Joseph Campbell? None of that matters in the first moment. What matters is the feeling. Your body is your oracle now. Trust it. It's been through the wars with you. It knows. And speaking of knowing, let's talk about your voice. Sagittarians are known for being blunt, funny, and occasionally saying too much at the wrong time. But now, your words have matured. Your speech has ripened into something sacred. Conversations have become portals. Gone are the days of charming banter for the sake of ego. Now, when you speak, people listen, and not just because you've got great stories. Your vulnerability is cutting through the noise. You'll find yourself saying something that surprises even you, and it'll land like a soul hug on the other side. That's the new you, still funny, still wise, but now with the kind of emotional depth that turns small talk into sacred dialogue. Here's the cosmic joke: the moment you stop trying to be profound, the universe slips something through your lips that changes someone's entire trajectory. That, my friend, is not coincidence. That's karma doing stand-up through you. So go ahead, Sag. Let go of the outdated love templates. Trust your tingles. Speak the truth, even when your voice trembles or when you accidentally blurt it out mid-laugh. You're not becoming someone else. You're becoming more you. And that, in the grand unfolding of this love shift, is exactly who the universe has been waiting for. Alright, Sagittarius, if you've made it this far, congratulations! You're not just passing through a moment. You're stepping into a movement, a rare and radiant shift that feels less like another horoscope and more like your soul finally syncing with its next chapter. And the good news? That chapter is written in your native language, freedom, fire, and fierce authenticity. Let's begin with something you might not usually associate with romance, creativity. But let me tell you, Sag, it's your spiritual GPS right now. This Mercury Trine North Node portal is no ordinary alignment. It's whispering a divine truth to you: what you create is what you attract. That silly little poem you wrote in the middle of the night? That weird, wonderful video you thought was too much to post? Yeah. That's exactly the frequency someone out there is tuning into right now. This isn't about painting a masterpiece or publishing your memoir, though hey, you probably could. This is about expressing your real, unfiltered self. The wild, philosophical, passionate Sag who thinks in metaphors and dances in metaphysics. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be visible. So yes, dance in your living room to Lizzo. Bake cookies while reciting Rumi. Post that reel, even if your hair's doing something weird. The year of triumph 2025 is not about dimming your light, it's about lighting up the world like your soul's on Broadway. Now let's talk about something that drives every Sagittarius just a little crazy: timing. You've probably learned by now that divine timing has its own bizarre sense of humor. The bus leaves early, your GPS reroutes, you spill coffee on your shirt, and somehow all of that puts you face to face with someone who feels strangely familiar. That's not randomness. That's the universe doing improv jazz. Because in this portal, time bends like a bowstring. It pulls you back just far enough to launch you forward. And when it lets go, you land in places your logical brain couldn't have plotted out in 1,000 lifetimes. So when love shows up in an alley, a laundromat, or aisle 7 of Trader Joe's, don't ask why here. Ask why not. Here's the spiritual truth, Sag: the love that's meant for you doesn't show up with a checklist. It shows up with resonance. You'll feel it before you understand it. And that's where the magic lives. Now let's zoom out. This portal didn't just open on June 21st and vanish by brunch. Nope. This energetic doorway stays wide open through June 25's new moon in Cancer, and gets even more powerful as Mercury squares Chiron, hello, healing through conversation, and the Sun conjunct Jupiter, aka the jackpot alignment of love, luck, and expansion. That's a cosmic combo meal tailor-made for you, Sag. This isn't just a season. It's a romantic renaissance. A reboot of your destiny. And in the year of triumph 2025, it's not just about hitting goals. It's about finally aligning with a kind of love that honors who you really are: restless, radiant, real. So here's the bottom line, Sag: you're not just attracting love, you're becoming someone who can hold it. You're not waiting for destiny to knock. You're vibrating at the frequency of everything you've been praying for. And if you're watching this, guess what? You're already one of the chosen ones. The universe doesn't make appointments it doesn't intend to keep. So laugh through the awkward signs. Cry if the beauty of it all catches you off guard. Hug your dog, high-five your reflection, sing off-key, say too much, feel too big. That's the whole point. Live big, love bigger. And before you go galloping off into the sunset with all this new insight, like this video if your soul felt seen. Share it with your fellow fire signs or anyone who needs a little cosmic pep talk. And don't forget to subscribe to Zodiac Talks Tarot, because the stars never stop talking, and neither do we. Until next time, Sagittarius, keep aiming for the truth, and trust that love is already on its way.